Hello, everybody. We're very excited to be here. My name is Ibrahim Mugharbin. I'm the Managing Director of Great Place to Work for UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Oman. Today is a very special day because actually it could be the end of Ramadan and we will be starting Eid very soon. So we want to wish everybody great holidays and we want to wish you the best for you and your beloved ones. Today also is a special day because we're going to be having a conversation with one of the key organizations who were part of the best workplaces in Kuwait. And we have a great speaker with us today. We have Tariq. Hello, Tariq. How are you?
Ahlan Ibrahim, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to talk with you today.
Same here. So Tariq Al-Bida is the Director of Business Development at UPayments. So UPayment have been certified as a great place to work, and we're very proud of you of this beautiful and international milestone. And they have been part of the best workplaces in Kuwait. How do you feel about this? How do you feel being part of the best workplaces list in Kuwait?
Honestly, we are extremely proud. We went when we took Great Place to Work as a survey for our employees. We were very interested to get into the deep details of how our employees feel and feel inside the company. And we're very glad to actually be on the list. It's our first time getting the certification. So honestly, we just feel like it's a validation of what we are trying to achieve internally.
It's accreditation, 100%. So you've been actually certified as a great place to work, and straight away you went for the best workplaces in Kuwait. So what does it mean for your industry to be part of the best? So tell me more just about that specific element before we go into our topic for today, if that's okay with you.
Sure, Ibrahim. So I do believe in this year's list in Kuwait, we are the only fintech company. And we believe that this is very important for our industry as fintech startups, and as well as just measuring where you are internally. So we believe this will not only help us improve our processes, but also perhaps show to the industry in Kuwait that you too can achieve this. And it's no longer an ideal, but rather a possibility and a reality that you can obtain.
100%, 100%. And we're very proud of you and all the best workplaces in Kuwait, in Qatar, in Oman, and in UAE as well. Another note as well, we will be celebrating the best work. Speaking about technology, we will be celebrating the best workplaces in technology, in retail, and in healthcare and pharmaceuticals as well. This is all happening in May 2023. So we're very excited about celebrating heroes in every single category, from an industry, from a demographic perspective, and also from a country and regional perspective as well. So the competition is hard, isn't it? But you guys are doing your best to become the best and to be part of the best workplaces as well.
We strive in competition. We think competition is very healthy, and we look forward to actually be a part of the event in May, inshallah.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're very excited to celebrate and recognize all these different heroes in this different list as well.
Absolutely.
So the reason we're here today is to speak about a very hot topic. Actually, this is my second session about this topic. One of them was actually in APAC and in Asia. This is the second time we're having this conversation about the same topic, innovation. I think following COVID, people are started to think more about innovation, specifically when you think about the hybrid model, when you think about how can I make sure that innovation is not just done by the R&D team, is actually across the board. And this is why we as a great place to work, when we speak about innovation, we just don't say innovation. We speak about innovation by all without any exception. So how can you make sure that every single employee in your organization is innovative? We've done some calculation, we've done some math, and want to show you the impact of innovation. And our speaker today will be speaking about their own experience when it comes from UPayment So how do they think about innovation and how can they take it to the next level? I'm just going to show some slides just to show the impact of innovation when it comes to the growth of the revenues. So how an innovation by all culture actually fuels the revenue growth almost by five. As you guys can see from the screen in front of you, how it will be impacting your financial growth. And that's what everybody is thinking about. We, as a great place to work, we've been doing some calculation in terms of the impact of the innovation, and we spoke about something called the innovation velocity ratio, which is on the next slide that I'm going to show you now. So, how we identify where the employees do believe they have the opportunity to be innovative. So that they feel that they have been the opportunity to be really thinking about how can I be innovative in this workplace, or they have that lack because of being absent or being threatened or being not really giving their best to the workplace they are in. And this is why it's very important for us to assess and understand if the employee, every single employee in your organization, do they feel innovative or not. And this is how we do the calculation of the IVR. And in the next slide, we'll be speaking about how important is the IVR on the organization. So moving on to the next slide. And this is actually when you have innovative companies and when you have innovative employees, this is how the impact will be. Four times more likely that they say they will be proud and they are proud to be working in your organization. Nine times when they think about their organization as a great place to work. And four times when they are really interested and engaged to give the job or the extra work to get the job done as well. So this is the impact of IVR and innovation on the workplace and on organization across the globe and in the region as well. Today, this is our topic, and as all we're going to talk about is how can we foster innovation and what is the impact of innovation on the modern workplace. So going back to you, Tariq, let's talk to you and let's talk about UPayment. If you can just introduce UPayment as a starting point, and then we're going to talk about innovation in further details.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ibrahim. And the PowerPoint or the demo you just showed, I do believe that it's no longer numbers. It's evident in real workforces, whether they feel proud or it's an innovative workforce. So UPayments, we are a fintech company. We are based in Kuwait, and we offer innovative payment solutions. We were the first ever fintech company to be licensed directly by the Central Bank of Kuwait. But we offer, our core is payment processing, but out of that, we offer 4 to 5 different innovative services that ranges all the way from payment links to payment gateways to even a fully fledged e-commerce website for you and your business. We also have a product directed towards the real estate market, which is on rental collection and property management. So it's quite innovative in the way we try to have these services tranche out of our core, which is online money processing.
Beautiful. I have a question for you, Tariq. What's more
Sure.
important, innovation or culture?
I think that's a good question, Ibrahim, and I think they intertwine. You cannot have innovation unless you foster a culture that brings out the innovation from our coworkers. So I think you can't have one without the other. And it's equally important to pay attention to both these verticals, the workforce and innovation or the culture, just so you can truly have the outcome that you want, which is the modern workforce and a really innovative company.
100%. I remember I had a conversation with the president of Schneider Electric, and I asked him, what's more important, innovation and culture? His answer was, culture can have innovation for breakfast. So,
Absolutely. I would agree with that, actually, yes.
100%. So, the question I have for you, so when you think about the culture of innovation, how important it is for you as UPayment as an organization, how important this is?
Absolutely, Ibrahim. Well, I think, first of all, it's very important to define what a culture of innovation is. Now, this varies from industry to industry and service to service. For us at UPayments, as a fintech company, the culture of innovation varies. It could be on new ideas on existing services and how to improve them or introduce something new to the market. And or it could be an improved process whereby we enhance our operational efficiency inside. Or it could be attracting these top employees to come to this workforce and join this culture. And that would actually help us retain these good talents. At the same time, we encourage everyone at UPayments, regardless of title, regardless of job position, to always voice their opinion. This is one of our tenets in our company, and to really actively participate in healthy discussions. And what this often leads to is a healthy debate. So, for example, it's as simple as you walk into your manager's office, you pitch your idea, and you'll always be challenged on your idea. That gives you the opportunity, one, to build on it, and possibly other people involved in this conversation will actually add to it. So, in conclusion, when this whole process is done, you actually can come up with a very strong idea, and all team members are on board. So it creates this cohesiveness inside. So for us, it's everyone has a voice. Everyone, we encourage actively to actually participate, disagree with us, and tell us why. We really foster that internally because we really believe it will end up in a collaborative environment. So for us, this has been since we've began operations. This is something we implemented, and thankfully we can see its results coming up not only internally in our workforce and in our bond, but even on our financials.
Beautiful. And this is when we speak about innovation by all. What you just said is a great best practice when it comes to innovation by all. How can you make sure that it's implemented and is driven across the organization? We have
Absolutely.
been receiving a lot of beautiful best practices coming from the best workplaces, and definitely one of them about the innovation and the impact of innovation. And one of the best practices we got as an example from Shalhoub or from Diwa or from Siwa and all these different organizations is basically how to reward the innovation. So how can we make sure that whenever somebody is really innovative, how can we make sure that this is consistent? So recognizing innovation and recognizing, as you said, the people behind it, and also making sure that they are rewarded. It doesn't have to be financials, it's obviously,
Absolutely.
but definitely make sure that the person is rewarded.
And
Um,
it's as simple as I speak from personal experience. When I first joined the company, I had an idea one day in my very early days, and I just went into my manager's office and I pitched the idea. After a discussion on it, challenging my idea, and then convincing them, uh, seeing it implemented at such a fast scale as an employee, that made me feel like I'm a part of something. My voice was heard, even though it was my first early days. So that alone can really help internally with the coworkers and employees.
employee experience, and this is what we look at
Absolutely.
day one until I hope not they exit or not, but until they are still with the organization. When we speak about
Absolutely.
modernized workplace, so let's talk more about this. Let's talk more about some examples about how can we think about modernizing our workplace, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely, Ibrahim. And I think to answer this question, I'll answer it in two parts. So, the modern workforce for us is quite agile. It's quite high paced, and decision making is usually faster than traditional methods. The way we can foster this and actually make a modern workforce is on two verticals. One is physical, and we really underestimate the physical aspect of it because it's as simple as, for us at UPayments, we have a open space,
Mhm.
collaborative environment. So all departments are on one floor, and we all see each other and we all talk to each other and we see what we're doing every minute of the day. This fosters this internal collaboration spirit, and it also encourages people, as I mentioned earlier, to always voice your opinions. At the same time, barriers of entry in a modern workforce is much more reduced when it comes to upper management. So
True.
for us, a physical way to do that is we have an open door policy with all management. That means you as an employee can at any second walk into your manager's office without the usual channels in traditional workforces. This really allows us to be transparent. It allows us to be united in our goals, and it allows us to move faster than usual. Now, once this digital space, the physical space is there, you also need a digital space to complement your physical space. Now, thanks to technology and thanks to advancements, we have a lot of tools that we can utilize as a company to have a modern workforce. So examples such as Slack or Jira or even project management like Monday.
Mm.
These tools we underestimate, but in reality, in our day and time, and because we're a fintech, it actually expedites a lot of the processes, decision making, and rather than just simply depending on email and the traditional method, you actually have tools to empower you to be very high paced and to be productive and efficient as well.
Productivity and efficiency, and I think this is what everybody is interested in. So you are a
Absolutely.
technology company. Let's talk about the impact of technology, right, on innovation and on the modern workplace?
Honestly, this is a very hot topic, and for us, this is our bread and butter. We pride ourselves in trying to be as innovative as possible in the markets we're in. Now, thankfully, technology has really elevated and upgraded in the last few years, but we really believe this is simply the tipping point of what's about to come. But because of technology, this empowers us to actually relate to our topic, which is to foster this innovation workforce. So ways of doing that, at least for us, is we have collaborative channels, as I mentioned to you. Everybody knows what everyone else is doing, and we always can pitch in. Thanks to technological advancements, as simple as one of our services, the KNet machine, which is the POS portal, we're trying to redefine this experience and actually come up with an innovation that, thanks to technology, we can make this process so much easier and beneficial to all of our users. So this is something we're actively working on. At the same time, as I'm sure you know, recently we are seeing the introduction of AI and the importance of AI and how it's really causing a shift in our workforce. We believe we are still in early stages, but I also believe that AI can be used in our work as we go along, and we're already exploring methods of doing that.
True.
So thanks to technology, our innovation has been on a faster scale, and it's been on a more massive scale. Technology really makes us work easier, more efficient, and if you put the right policies or let's say the right culture in place, you can really come up with a very innovative product or service at the end of it.
When you said collaboration and you said transparency, I think these again, I'm trying to catch some keywords from your inputs and from your insights as well about the impact of innovation on culture. Let's talk about UPayment more. So as an organization, how do you encourage individuals to experiment with new ideas and approaches? How do you do that?
So this is something we actively do. It happens almost on a day-to-day basis. As I said, we encourage actively employees to voice their opinions. So sometimes, let's say we're thinking of a new service or a new product, whether that comes from upper management or lower management, it doesn't just go through one department. Every department has a say in it. And not only that, if we see, for example, a certain department has no comments, we go to them. We're like, okay, tell me what you think. I want to know what you think. At other times, we actually push ourselves in terms of thinking, whereby we go with an idea and we tell them, challenge me. Tell me how I can improve my idea. Now, this really causes a healthy debate internally. We start off with an idea. We build on it. We're using different opinions, different ideas. And at the end of it, once you come up with a conclusion or whatever you want to achieve, this results in one thing, or at least an important matter, which is all units or all employees are united in that goal. Not necessarily because they might fully agree with it, but because they've had the chance to have their input. They've had the chance to convince everyone else on why yes or why not. So at the end of it, it's a team spirit. And I think this really fosters us to have this trust between us. There is no, especially at UPayments, we don't have this culture of, regardless of position, again, I really stress on this, we really foster this authenticity of people's ideas. We really love to listen to people. And everyone comes in with a very unique perspective. So it helps us at the end to come up with a really comprehensive idea that can be actually very good for the company on the long term.
100%. And this is where, when you speak about for all methodology, what you're saying, I'm just trying to relate it to Great Place to Work in terms of perspective. So you are very keen on creating a culture that is driven by the for all methodology. So it doesn't matter who you are and what do you do in the organization. Our objective is to actively listen to you as people and to make sure that every employee is driven by performance. And because of the transparency and because of the collaboration you just mentioned, this will be fostering also a culture of trust. So this is how you create a high trust and a high performing workplace. Well done. So this is, no wonder you are the best workplaces in Kuwait. I mean, you're answering the question.
Thank you. No, honestly, I think without really having the right culture in place, you can't have innovation. And even with the right culture in place, you can't have innovation until you really get. This is how innovation happens. In our opinion, innovation happens due to that collaborative environment. One person can't come up with a full idea, but 20 to 30 people all are surrounded around the same idea, you can come up with a great outcome.
100%, 100%. When I have so many conversations with companies, I almost have 8 to 9 conversations per day. Some people come to me and say, but Ibrahim, like, if we don't get a high score, because Great Place to Work, for you to be certified as a Great Place to Work, you need to achieve a minimum score of 64.5. For you to become for part of the best, definitely you need to be achieving higher scores. But this is where some companies say, like, what if we don't achieve this score? What is going to happen to us? Is that a dead end? And this is where I'm going to speak to you, Tariq, and say, if I'm a company today who you said some beautiful insights, but we're not close to where you are, right? So we're not really using technology in our day to day. I'm so busy as an organization on my financial growth. I'm busy in terms of surviving, as an example of the current circumstances that I'm in. So how can you change that mentality? How can you change that approach? I know you have to start from a point. What is that point that you can start from?
Honestly, Ibrahim, exactly what you said is a question we debated internally before doing the Great Place to Work survey and certification. We asked ourselves, what if we don't pass? There's always that chance. And what we came up with, and this was actually quite immediate, we're like, let's fail. I don't mind to fail as long as it tells me what I have to improve on. So as much as we have this, even if we don't really know where our culture is, I believe doing the Great Place to Work at least helps us to set a base. So we knew when we entered the certification process, we knew that there might be a chance we are not certified, but we looked at it from another angle. We're like, okay, I might not be certified, but at least I will know what I have to work on. At least I will know where areas I lack and where areas I'm strong at. So it was for us a way to just measure ourselves internally using the Great Place to Work certification and actually work on it, improve it. We wanted to know where our weaknesses is. Now, on the other hand, when you ask me where do you start, start anywhere. Uh, Build on your team, build on your communication. Again, thanks to technology, a lot of people might argue that it hinders communication, but actually it can improve it massively if you know how to use technology to help you. So find out where your weaknesses are. That's the first step. And then build on it. Get to the place, have an end goal that you want to go to, and be like, this is what I'm going to do to achieve it. And again, you can never do it alone. So whether you're the CEO or a middle level employee, nobody can do it alone. It has to be a team effort. And that's how you get there, in my opinion.
I have to give you credit for another thing as well. Looking at your scores, one of the things that you guys have scored on, which is really high, is the leadership behavior. You have achieved a 94%. I'm so sorry to be revealing this information, but this
No,
is
it's okay.
interesting and inspirational as well. And you are actually at the benchmark of the best workplaces in Kuwait. And to be fair, when you think about how you're speaking and you're the director of business development, you seem that you have, and you've been with the organization for how long? 3 years or 4 years, right? So
Almost 4 years, yes.
there you go. So basically, you can see the day to day is actually, switched into the innovation, switched into the culture, and making that formula together, which is beautiful.
I absolutely. I think it all goes back to the core policy or the core belief of the company. Now, when I first joined UPayments and when every other employee joined UPayments, I had a meeting with our CEO. He always lays the groundwork for every employee who comes in. And we have very simple rules. One is we are a diverse company. So that means regardless of sex, gender, belief, ethnicity, or whatever that person comes from, we never question and we never even approach it. It's a red line for us. We have to accept everyone as they are. And it's our CEO tells us from day one, listen, if anybody crosses this red line, I'm sorry, you don't belong in this culture. At the same time, day one, they inform all of us that, listen, we are a collaborative environment and we do expect you to voice your opinion. So from a personal experience, when I first joined and during these 3 years, I've come to embody that because I not only truly believe it, I see it on a day-to-day basis. It is a reality that I live in.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And this is where Great Place to Work, it's not just a certification, it's a process, it's a journey. What I
Absolutely.
love about what you said, I mean, you guys were so lucky because you were certified and you were part of the best workplaces. Some organizations are not that lucky. So they need
Right.
to work harder to be part of the best workplaces. So this is where when we speak about great place to work, it's a journey, it's a process.
Absolutely.
It's not about where you are, it's about where you want to be. And I always say there are three elements for the success of an organization. One, the intention, which I can see it in your eyes, and I can see it in your leadership eyes and your people eyes because you are an ambassador of your organization. The second element is to having a tool, which is emprising that you guys are using to actively listening to your people to make the right decision. It's not about creating 500 initiatives. It's about taking decision that actually matters,
Absolutely.
that will give you the right impact, which you're doing currently. And the third element as well is the endorsement. So, and this is what I love when you said, let's fail. Because if we fail
Yeah.
today, we're going to be successful tomorrow. The fact that you
Exactly.
assessment, you're interested, tell me more about that statement. Elaborate more on that, please.
Honestly, exactly like you said, we don't mind failing. Failing is it must happen one way or another. To think that we will never ever fail would be an ideal and simply not realistic. Now, I think it depends on how you look at failure and how you assess failure. Being a fintech company or being a startup, we always have a trial and error bandwidth when it comes to services, products. So there is always that element of risk that we run on and that we accept. When it comes to failure, we really think it's a learning curve. So if I relate it back to Great Place to Work, we really wanted to know now in the last 3 to 4 years, we have grown in terms of company size, in terms of employee size. We started off in Kuwait, now we are multi geographical areas. So it was a really great time for us to assess where we are right now. And again, when we had that internal debate on, okay, what if we fail? The answer was simple: let us fail, and we'll do it next year and the year after until we get it right. And having Great Place to Work was actually a great tool for us to assess and to pinpoint that weaknesses and that strengths. And we can't do that unless we go through that whole journey of including everyone. And because it was confidential, it gave our employees and our coworkers the space to really be honest. And this is something we really wanted. So at the end of the journey, thankfully, we were certified and we got on the list. But either way, our expectation was not on whether I'll get it or not. Our expectations on where am I now and what can I do to improve it. So that's how we entered this whole journey, with that mindset.
Beautiful. And this is what matters, right? It's not about where you are, it's about where you want to be. You are an
Absolutely.
organization in Kuwait, and we are receiving a lot of beautiful comments, by the way, on LinkedIn. I'm going to ask some questions. Zubran, Aysam, Yusra, there are so many inputs and so many perspectives that are coming from the users. I'm going to be tackling this in a minute. I'm going to
Sure.
ask you to give us a statement to the business community in Kuwait. So this is something that we as a mission, we want to help all these organizations around the globe as a global authority, right? In Kuwait, in UAE, in the US, in the UK, everywhere as a global authority. What's your message for the business community in Kuwait? What's your advice? What's your tip following the participation of the Great Place to Work and the best workplaces, looking at innovation? One tip or one statement.
First of all, do it. Do the Great Place to Work certification. Mainly because, and I say this honestly, it really helped us to assess where we are. And even though, by the way, we got on the list, we got certified, that does not mean that we didn't see areas of improvement. Because it laid the groundwork, it actually told us, or at least given us a direction on, I can improve this process or that process or this policy. So my message would be very simple. It would be talk to your team, do the survey. And I'm very proud in saying Kuwait has a lot of innovative minds. We are a society that is really innovative. We are usually we love new products, new services in the market, and we really foster that. So we have that in spirit in Kuwait. I think it's really great for organizations and people alike is to do similar assessments just so we can know where they are and how they can improve themselves.
Beautiful. And I'm going to make a special announcement. Year over year, or the participation in Great Place to Work from Kuwait specifically has tripled. So this is year on year, and we're very proud of this, for us to achieve our mission as a great place to work and helping organization to become better and building a better tomorrow and a better future for all the people around there. We work with
Absolutely. And That number will increase in the next few years,
I
hopefully.
hope so. I really hope so. We work
Inshallah.
with more than 15 million employees around the globe and with more than 20,000 organizations. And we really want to see the impact in the Middle East, in Kuwait, in Qatar, in Oman, in the UAE, in Saudi, in Bahrain. We're very keen to build that mission and to help these organizations around the globe and locally. Going back to our topic about innovation, I think we diverted a bit, but this is all good because it's all goes
Fine.
into culture and perspective of things. So can you give us as an example, or can you give us some examples about like how can like a good innovation idea would be like, and the benefits of innovation as an example? So how impactful or how beneficial is to be innovative? So an idea and a benefit, if possible.
Sure. So again, innovation comes in different forms and in different ways. For us, innovation, and the example I'll give, came in one of our services. So as per the central bank regulations and the norm in fintech companies, usually our merchants' funds is deposited in the next working day.
Mhm.
Now, that requires a +1 timeline whereby I can give the money back to the merchants. But we realize this also causes some sort of operational headache. Even though it's the next business day, some businesses and some industries require it instantly.
Mhm.
Now, what happened is we had a very long discussion internally. This was around last year, maybe even more so. And we said, okay, we want to get the money faster to our clients. What can we do? And it was a brainstorming session. We had a lot of discussions. We had a lot of ways until we found the perfect methodology to do so. Now, this wouldn't have been possible unless we would have had everyone contribute, because we started off with the idea, I want to deposit money faster. It ended up with a reality. I can now deposit money faster, and we have what we call instant deposit now. So for selective merchants, if you fit the terms and conditions, you get instant deposit, which means within minutes, it's in your bank account. Now, this is a very small innovation, and it might not look like it's, let's say, complex, but in the back end, in the background, a lot of work went through to get to this point. So this is just an idea, and the result was due to the collaboration that we had, to the challenges that we faced, and for that culture that we had. We all wanted to make it come to life. So we went through that journey internally, and alhamdulillah, now we have this instant deposit features, and we're unique with it in this market.
Thank you for this example, and thank you for showcasing the benefit of that example as well. I'm gonna be looking at. I know we have. I'm really enjoying the conversation, Tariq. You are such a
Well,
delight to speak to. But I want to also get some inputs and some perspective from the viewers and some of the people who are actually are part of the session today. Some people have said Eid Mubarak to all. I'm gonna again say Eid Mubarak to all of you and your beloved ones as well, and we're gonna wish you happy holidays. I'm gonna take the question of Yusra. Amazing discussion. Can you share some more about the modern workplace and how it has evolved in the recent years? How do you see this trend continuing in the future?
that's a great question, honestly. Now, the modern workforce has different definitions. For us, it's being agile, it's being high paced, it's removing the barriers. And I always refer to barriers of entry. What I mean by that is for me to reach a decision maker or to reach someone who can help me implement a process, I need to eliminate the barriers that usually prevent me from doing that. Now, if I think traditional, let's say I have a meeting with a CEO, I'd have to call his secretary, look at his calendar, book a meeting, and that meeting could be 2 months or 3 months or whatever it is. Simply by implementing an open door policy, I've cut that journey down to 5 minutes. It's as simple as knocking the door, walking in, and finishing your point that you wanted to prove. So it's really about modernizing your workforce in terms of the agility. Transparency is key. You cannot have this agility and mobility without their trust and transparency on where you want to go. And honestly, I see this trend only evolving as we go along. As I mentioned earlier, with AI, a lot of people look at AI as, oh, they're going to take our jobs. We highly disagree. We think that AI will actually help you make your job more efficient.
True.
It's the person using AI that will benefit out of it. So again, you accept the technological advancement and really utilize it. Find where it fits in your organization and how it can better your organization.
100%. We received another question. I don't know the name of that person, but the question is there. What are some of the benefits of fostering a culture of innovation for companies, both in terms of work culture and overall success?
Another great question. I'll speak from my own personal experience on this. I feel like I'm a part of a team, of a unit, of one unit. Now, we are employees of 60 plus, and in different geographies, but I truly feel we move along different stages as one cohesive unit. So that's the first point I'd bring out. The second point is because we have these policies and we try to foster this, we really have open communication between us. Whereby before, in other instances, in my experience, when I was asked to voice my opinion or if I disagree with an idea, I might not really share my idea.
True.
Here, I feel like, no, I should share my idea because I'll challenge that idea and we'll come up with a better outcome for all of us. So I really, in my own personal experience, the benefits is that you feel like you're a part of a family. You know, everyone in this company, regardless of positions, know where our aim is. So if I go to an employee and I tell them, where do I want to be in the next 5 years, regardless of positions, we all have the same answer, the best fintech in the market. So we believe in it. And due to all these processes in place and this culture in place, I'm proud to say that we are a family that would go beyond limits to fight for this company. And it adds shareholder value to normal employees.
True.
And I think this is key to make your employee feel like they're a shareholder. I think that's when you really feel like you're in the right culture.
100%. I mean, I'm going to speak a bit about Emprising, which is our tool, which has been life-changing for companies around the globe. You said something which is very interesting, and Emprising has these features. As an example, when you have unlimited pulse survey, you have an opportunity, and one of the best workplaces in the UAE actually used it. They were actually building their own space, and you said something which is nice. So we have one department, one floor. The company, when they were building their new offices, they actually sent an open-ended question and questions to their employees about what they want to see in that space, what they want to achieve in that space. How can we make it more collaborative? How can we make it more transparent? How can we make it more agile? Which is beautiful. I mean, looking at building a culture of trust across the board. We have somebody also speaking to us from Oman. I mean, the tip that Tarek has given is applying for Kuwait and definitely for Oman and all the countries and all the organizations around the globe. One more question we're going to take. What is the role, or what role do you see innovation playing in the work evolution? This is coming from Erika.
Innovation will take different forms, but in terms of work evolution, it'll make us way more agile than we are right now. So even if we're agile now, I think in the next 5 years, we'll be much more agile in terms of how we operate as a company. The different processes we have are much more streamlined and automatic thanks to technology. So I really think our workforce will evolve and continue to evolve with technological advancements. Now, where we'll end up, I'm not sure because, again, technology is improving day by day, but it will definitely make it a faster, high-paced, more agile environment. And it will make it also more collaborative. Technological tools like Slack or so forth. It really gives us that ability to communicate to anyone, wherever, whenever. So it helps us remain as one unit, regardless of where we are in the world.
100%. I'm just going to highlight the fact because people were asking. So, Ninad, if you can just add the website or the link for the best workplaces deadline. Everybody is asking about that because soon enough we'll be celebrating technology, retail, and healthcare and pharma. So here we go. This is actually our marketing director, Drews, who actually wrote down the link that you guys can access in terms of the list application and deadlines. I'm going to take one more question. Unfortunately, we are almost at the end of this webinar. I'm going to take the question of Ilyas Mansour. What are the practical steps to encourage innovation in all scopes?
Communication would be the place to start. I think transparency is underestimated, but to really evolve and to really see it, a practical evolution of it, is for everyone to believe, one, they're all working towards the same goal. They all believe in the same outcome. And once that happens, all different departments will pour into that same goal. So there are practical steps you can do. Communicate with your team almost every day. Ask them to challenge you. Ask them to challenge your ideas. And always, always, always ask them to bring up new ideas, regardless. We always say there's no stupid idea, even there's no stupid question. Come to me with an idea. Come to me with whatever, even if it's at 12 a.m. You had an idea, note it down, come talk to me about it tomorrow. And we encourage this because everybody has a unique outlook on life and a unique experience inside the company. So we don't always believe that there is that one person or one unit that knows all, says all. It has to happen from everyone else, or else we cannot achieve our desired outcome.
100%. And speaking about that as well, I mean, it's very important as well to be able to create that right atmosphere and the right perspective for us to be able to enable communication as well, offline and online. 100%. I love what you're saying. But unfortunately, we are at almost the end of this webinar. My aim, my objective, we're always keen to create additional lists and additional competition. I remember the days where we had only one national list, which is, as an example, the country list. Today, we have more than 12 lists where we speak about the best workplaces for women, millennials, Generation Z, parents, in technology, in Asia, around the globe, for Saudi nationals, for all these different categories and demographics. My objective very soon is for us to create who are the best workplaces when it comes to enabling and empowering innovation. That would be my aim as well of today's session. And as we go forward and forward, Tariq, what's the last statement that you'd like to provide us with as part of this session today? I really enjoyed speaking to you. This was a beautiful session. Thank you for being part of it. Tariq.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Ibrahim, for this very delightful conversations. I hope everyone who attended enjoyed it, and hopefully it comes out with a good outcome out of it. What I would close with is I really encourage every company, whether that's in Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, or Oman, do the survey. It really helps you identify where you are. And always listen to your employees. Always foster that culture, and you have to start somewhere. So go for it and fail again until you get it right. Thank you, Ibrahim, and thank you for this wonderful conversation.
Beautiful statement. And it's not about where you are, it's about where you want to be. 100%. I love that, Tariq.
Absolutely.
Tariq, thank you so much for being part of the session today. Well done again for being certified as a great place to work in Kuwait, and for straight away going to the best workplaces in Kuwait. We're so proud of you and wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
I'm going to wish everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to wish everybody a great day, the remaining of the day. And we wish all of you some great enjoyment in the Eid holidays, and to you and your beloved ones. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.